History class, remember those endless dates, names, and events? We memorized them, took the tests, and moved on. But what if I told you that's only half the story? Today we're diving into 10 shocking historical truths that your teachers never told you. And some of these might just change how you see the past entirely. Number 10. The truth about the Library of Alexandria. Imagine one of the greatest collections of knowledge in the ancient world, a library holding countless scrolls of science, philosophy, and literature. But contrary to popular belief, this incredible repository of wisdom wasn't destroyed in a single dramatic fire. Instead, it suffered multiple fires over several centuries, each leaving it weaker until it vanished. Historians still debate who or what caused its final demise. Some point to Julius Caesar's siege of Alexandria, others blame centuries of neglect. This isn't just a lost library, it's a lost legacy. Number 9. The Great Pyramids of Giza weren't built just for tombs. Your textbooks probably told you they were just royal tombs, but new evidence suggests a whole other dimension. Some scientists believe these architectural wonders might have served as giant power plants. Strange as it sounds, the materials they used, like limestone and granite, are actually good conductors of energy. Could the pyramids have been more advanced than we realized, even capable of generating power for the city around them? Some physicists think it's possible. Number 8. The Viking stereotype isn't the whole story. Vikings have the rep of fierce warriors raiding coasts and terrorizing Europe. But history has left out that they were also skilled traders, explorers, and settlers. In fact, recent archaeological finds show they reached North America, specifically Newfoundland, about 500 years before Columbus. And in contrast to their reputation, they often settled and traded peacefully with local populations. They weren't just fighters, they were also farmers, artisans, and explorers, pushing the boundaries of the known world. Number 7. The dark side of witch hunts. History books describe the Salem witch trials as one of the darkest chapters of American history. But here's the twist: across Europe, witch hunts were far worse and often driven by political agendas. Accusations were often a convenient way to eliminate rivals, enemies, or women who didn't conform to societal norms. Hundreds of thousands of people, mostly women, were executed across Europe in these so-called witch hunts. It was less about magic and more about consolidating power and punishing those who dared to stand out. Number 6. Roman concrete, a mystery that could transform modern construction. Ancient Romans created a type of concrete that has survived for thousands of years, outlasting many of our own structures. And here's the kicker: we still haven't fully cracked their recipe. Researchers know it involves volcanic ash and seawater, but the exact process has been lost to history. Imagine skyscrapers or bridges that could last for millennia. What would our world look like then? Number 5. The American Revolutionary War was way more complex than you learned. It's easy to picture it as the colonists versus the British, but in reality, the war was a tangled web of alliances. Native American tribes, enslaved African Americans, and even other European nations all played significant roles, each with their own interests and goals. For some, fighting for the British meant a chance at freedom. For others, siding with the colonists promised survival. It wasn't just a war for independence, it was a war of shifting allegiances and complex motivations. Number 4. Cleopatra wasn't Egyptian, she was Greek. Cleopatra, the iconic queen of Egypt, was actually part of the Greek Ptolemaic dynasty, descendants of one of Alexander the Great's generals. While she was fiercely proud of Egypt and even learned the language, she was Greek by heritage. This blend of Greek and Egyptian culture made her an exceptional diplomat and leader who knew how to unite people from diverse backgrounds under her rule. Number 3. Samurai were not always the picture of honor. We've all heard of Bushido, the samurai code of honor, loyalty, and discipline. But in reality, loyalty wasn't as straightforward as we've been taught. Many samurai would change sides or betray their lords if it benefited them or their families. Far from the romanticized loyalty often depicted, their honor could be flexible, especially in Japan's tumultuous political landscape. Number 2. The Renaissance wasn't just art and enlightenment. It's celebrated as a time of cultural rebirth, but the Renaissance was also an era of dark secrets, violent power struggles, and brutal wars. While artists were creating masterpieces, Rulers were waging wars and persecuting anyone who dared to challenge their authority. Behind the colorful paintings were some truly ruthless politics. And finally, number 1. Columbus didn't discover America. By the time he landed, the Americas were already home to millions with civilizations that were complex and technologically advanced. In Mesoamerica, the Aztecs had impressive cities and trade networks, while the Mississippian culture in North America had built large, organized communities. Columbus didn't discover a new world. He stepped into a world that was already thriving and diverse. And there you have it. 10 hidden truths that reveal just how much we're still discovering about our past. So, what surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the parts of history they never taught us.